that would basically put an educational component of the safe storage law that was passed, into our educational system. And, we introduced a bill probably halfway through session to put, hunter safety back into the high school curriculum. And it's kind of disingenuous because if you really wanted to do something on an educational component with firearms, you'd introduce hunter safety, but instead they want to introduce an educational component to the Safe Storage Act that was passed, and it's really just, I think, trying to teach kids how to identify if your parents aren't safely storing their weapons. So it's,
you mean they're trying to get kids to rat out their parents if the gun isn't in the proper place and locked in a proper way and unloaded and so on?
I think that's the thought is, and again, it's, what does that do? It sows division within the family unit. It's just, it's definitely not something that's done, for the better of everybody. I think, hunter safety, would definitely help students, help kids, help people that aren't exposed to firearms on a normal basis understand, the safety concerns and everything about them, rather than a bill that just targets, a piece of legislation that they passed.
Dave, tell me, is the state going to pony up to our EMS agencies that are still not paid for the prison runs they made?
Well, there's a lot of money that's owed to a lot of agencies. One of the ones that is probably the most at risk is the Kinross EMS system on the east side. The administrator for that service has told me that she's got maybe 2 payrolls left before they go insolvent. And anybody that knows how EMS systems work, especially standalones, once you lose your funds to keep moving forward, the whole thing crashes and it's almost impossible to restart. So we're pushing real hard for Kinross. I know Baraga, Elger, Marquette, they're all owed money, but Kinross, due to the size of Chippewa and Kinross, they have an enormous exposure to the corrections transfers with the size of the facilities, and they're out, a massive amount of money. I think over $400,000.
So have you had conversations with the administration on this? I mean, what's going to happen the next time, somebody has a heart attack in the prison there in Kinchlow or something like that, and the EMS doesn't come?
Well, that's just it. It doesn't just affect the prisons. It affects, the people that live there. I mean, they not only serve the prison population, they serve, the residents of that area. It's a 640 square mile service territory, and if they go down, that falls on mutual aid. So that means that the surrounding EMS agencies have to respond, which are going to increase response times probably by 30 to 40 minutes. It's a bad situation. I've been talking to House leadership. I've been talking to several, trying to get something together to make them whole and to start to look at the problem on a systemic level and get these people paid with WellPath, with their contract with WellPath going south. It's just indicative of all the dysfunction that's going on in our corrections department statewide.
And you have a bill, don't you, that you guys have supported to maybe have a sweeter pension system for these corrections officers so that part of the corrections problem might at least be eased a little bit?
Yeah, there's a bill package that corrections is pushing heavily. I'm supporting it wholeheartedly. Something has to be done. Corrections feels that the reinstatement of the pension program for corrections officers will do a lot to stem the loss of personnel and give these guys something to look forward to on a career basis. And I'm ready to vote on it. I've encouraged House leadership to bring it up. I know there's an appetite, bipartisan appetite to bring it up. I guess we'll just see where leadership's priorities are.
Anything else, Dave and Lame Duck, that you would like to make sure everybody up here keeps their ears to, things that maybe would affect us directly up here?
I know there was some another gun bill testimony regarding concealed carry on the Senate side, regarding expanding facilities where concealed carry is allowed and not allowed. They want to expand it exponentially to include places like grocery stores and convenience stores, and just basically make the legal concealed carrier. He would theoretically be breaking the law if they went into any of these establishments where it's currently permitted. And then I had also heard that there's you basically wouldn't. Yeah, you'd have to somehow stow your weapon to basically go anywhere. And then there was talk of removing Michigan from the compact across the country, where concealed carry is reciprocated state to state. So it's just. I don't see any of these going through because there's bipartisan support for concealed carry as it stands. I just think it's a lot of posturing, but you never know. This is the final days of the majority, the Democrat majority in the House, the Senate, and the governorship. So we retake the House January 1. So lame duck can be dangerous. So I'm keeping my eyes open and keeping my ears peeled and just paying attention as this stuff comes out.